Everybody loves music. Rock, classical, hip-hop, reggae, pop, you name it. I don't really focus on one particular style of music, and I don't focus on one musician either. But there are a few exceptions. In this video, I am going to give you a list of my personal top 10 favorite musicians. To make this list, a musician has to have at least 3 songs that I enjoy listening to again and again. This will be a top 10 list, counting down from number 10. Just a reminder that some of these musicians may not be very familiar to you. Remember that this is 100% opinion based, so please do not make a big deal out of the choices I make. Number 10. Andy Grammer. He is one of those likable pop stars of the 2010s decade. The first song I remember hearing was Honey I'm Good, on the radio, probably back in early 2015. It had an awesome beat to it, but that wasn't the best song I heard from the singer. In October 2015, I heard Andy Grammer's new song, Good to Be Alive, and I just could not stop listening to it. That was probably when I started liking Andy Grammer, with songs like Keep Your Head Up and Fresh Eyes, both of which I first heard in 2016. Number 9. Nicki Minaj. There are actually 2 things I like about Nicki Minaj, her music, and also her big backside. But let's just talk about the music here. Minaj makes some pretty hilarious songs, including Anaconda and Stupid Ho. The first song I remember hearing was Pound the Alarm. It was on Now That's What I Call Music Volume 44, and it was probably back in early 2013. I also heard Starships in 2013, and I also liked that song. Minaj was also featured in songs like Side to Side, Swish Swish, and Swallow. Apart from being hilarious, Minaj can take her sexual lyrics a little over the top, like when she was featured in Big Sean's song, Dance. Nicki Minaj was perhaps one of the first female rappers I've ever known in my life. Number 8. Psychostick. Perhaps the most hilarious of all the comedy bands, Psychostick certainly ranks up as the most hilarious music I've ever heard. I was introduced to Psychostick in late 2018, with the song, NSFW. I had to keep pausing the video on YouTube because I could not stop laughing. Knowing about NSFW, I wondered if there were other songs from this music group that would make me laugh out loud. So I listened to other songs like Beer, Dogs Like Socks, Because Boobs, The Root of All Evil, and many more. Sure enough, I was right. I wonder why not many other musicians I come across make such hilarious music as Psychostick does, at least on the radio. Number 7. Imagine Dragons. At first I wasn't very interested in this music group. The first 2 songs I heard on the radio in 2013 were Radioactive and It's Time. Later that year, I also heard Demons on Pandora, but I still wasn't very interested. I did gain a bit of interest in the band as time went by. They were featured along with around 10 other people in Sucker for Pain, from the movie Suicide Squad, in the summer of 2016. But in the summer of 2017, that was when things changed. I first heard Believer and Thunder on the radio, and those were the songs that got me interested in Imagine Dragons. That was how I started liking more songs later on, like Whatever It Takes and Natural. Number 6. The Shins. Like some of the entries on this list, the Shins are more of a nostalgic type of music for me. Even though I'm only familiar with one album, there are still quite a bit of songs on there that I like. You might be familiar with the song New Slang. That is perhaps their most popular song. I first heard their whole album, Oh Inverted World, probably in 2005. I heard the songs on this album a lot while I was living in Texas, between December 2005 and April 2006. There are a lot of songs on the album I still enjoy listening to. Caring is Creepy, Girl Inform Me, The Past, and Pending, and, of course, New Slang. But it's more likely because of the nostalgia. Number 5. Eminem. There are actually a few things that I like about Eminem. He is hilarious, and he's also one of those nostalgic musicians. Yes guys, I was introduced to Eminem when I was around 3 years old, or maybe 4. But it was definitely before 2005. Eminem's music is far from child-friendly. He's constantly using dirty words, drug references, and sex references. But he is still perhaps the most successful white rapper of all time. When I was old enough to listen to Eminem, I first listened to songs that I've heard in the past, including My Name Is, The Way I Am, Lose Yourself, Without Me, and many more. Not to mention that there are entire albums of Eminem that I have listened to way back in the day, like the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, The Eminem Show, and Encore. He is also the lead singer of D12, and I enjoy listening to songs on their album, D12 World, and another song that's not on the album, Purple Pills. Eminem was also the star of the 2002 movie, 8 Mile. I've had that movie on DVD since it was released, but I never really got to watch it. Number 4. 21 Pilots. I might have known a little about 21 Pilots before hearing their song Stressed Out. That was the first song I heard on the radio back in early 2016, maybe 2015. That was the only song I heard at the time, but come summer 2016, I was introduced to 2 more songs, Ride and Heathens. For nearly a year, these were the only 3 songs I have known and loved from 21 Pilots. Even while I was riding to New York City and back home in December 2016, at least 3 21 Pilots songs would play every hour, and they were either Stressed Out, Ride, or Heathens. Sometime in 2017, that was probably when I familiarized myself with a whole list of songs, Car Radio, Lane Boy, Heavy Dirty Soul, and more. I wasn't very familiar with Fairly Local and House of Gold until the summer of 2018, when I moved to Illinois. I like those songs as well. I even went to their concert in Indianapolis in June 2019. That was probably when I heard their new song, Chlorine. I'm not sure why none of their songs from their 2015 album made it on Now That's What I Call Music. But at least the song Stressed Out made the 2017 Grammys. Number 3. The Royal Concept. Though not very popular, they are still a pop band from Sweden. The first song I heard from the band was On Our Way, probably back in early 2014. This is currently their most popular song. It became a Now What's Next song on Now That's What I Call Music Volume 48. That was the only song I knew for over a year. At some point during that time, I did manage to look up more songs from the Royal Concept, but I never really thought to listen to them. Then by the end of 2015, I heard this new song, Smile. It was also a Now What's Next song on Now That's What I Call Music Volume 56. Yes, the Royal Concept made 2 Now What's Next songs. I heard the song Smile, but I didn't know it was by the Royal Concept before I started liking the song. That was also the case for this other catchy song I heard on a commercial back in 2016. I figured out the name of the song, and, by surprise, it was performed by the Royal Concept. The song was called Fashion. That was the moment I started listening to more songs. I now like at least 8 songs from the band. Number 2. One Republic. Like Imagine Dragons, I didn't think I was going to like One Republic so much. The first song that made me recognize One Republic was Good Life. It was on Now That's What I Call Music Volume 39, and it might have been in early 2012 when I heard it. I wasn't very interested at the time. I did also know another song before then, but I didn't know that it was by One Republic. The song was called All the Right Moves. But then, in April 2014, I heard this brand new song on the radio. The radio station even said it was a new song, and even announced the song and the band. It was called Love Runs Out. I might have also heard Counting Stars before then, but again, I didn't know that it was One Republic. But when I heard Love Runs Out for the very first time, I just wanted to listen to it over and over again. So then I received the album, Native, on my 15th birthday in 2014, and that was when I started hearing and liking more songs. This was the 2014 reissue album. It included Love Runs Out, Life in Color, and the ELSO version of If I Lose Myself. Songs I like from the album are Love Runs Out, Feel Again, What You Wanted, and Preacher. I also like Au Revoir, but that was at a later point. Then I received 2 albums on my 20th birthday, Dreaming Out Loud and Waking Up. I wasn't really into One Republic as much as I used to, but at least there were more songs from those albums that I liked. Alright, we have reached our number 1 spot, but first, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. Jack White. I have had a very long history with Jack White. First of all, he was one of the most memorable musicians of my childhood. I grew up with 6 studio albums by the White Stripes on CD, 1 concert film by the White Stripes on DVD, and 1 studio album by the Raconteurs on CD. This was all way back before 2008. I might have not been very familiar with Jack White's music during my early childhood, but my parents certainly were. I'm not sure about the other White Stripes albums, but I know that we bought Get Behind Me Satan and Icky Thump on CD as soon as they were released. The albums Elephant and Get Behind Me Satan reminded me of my time in Germany, and the other albums reminded me of my time in New Mexico, as well as the Raconteurs album, Broken Boy Soldiers. I've lived in New Mexico from April 2006 until June 2009, and I've lived in Germany from around September 2001 until December 2005, so of course that was a very long time ago when I started hearing Jack White's music. In 2014, we started buying Jack White's solo performance albums. We bought Blunderbuss on vinyl, and Lazaretto on CD. In early 2016, I found out that I had more Jack White content than I thought. This includes the White Stripes documentary film, Under Great White Northern Lights, on DVD, the Raconteurs album, Consolers of the Lonely, on CD, and also an album from the Dead Weather on vinyl. So you might be wondering why I'm mentioning bands like the White Stripes, the Raconteurs, and the Dead Weather. It's because Jack White was a member of all these bands, and my parents pretty much love everything about him. Did you know the Raconteurs are called the Saboteurs in Australia? Anyway, with all this information, you can probably guess that I now like more than 100 of Jack White's songs, the majority of them from the White Stripes, and also from my childhood. Thanks for watching. If you have your own top 10 favorite musicians, you should let me know in the comments section, or make your own video about it. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about the topic I discussed, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you later.